Broadcasting live from the land of 10,000 lakes, your official guide to West Central Minnesota. The food, the people, the entertainment, and of course, the latest real estate news. Welcome to the Kandiyohi County Real Estate Report. And now your host, a licensed realtor with over 20 years of local experience right here in Kandiyohi County, and author of the new book, The Ultimate Guide to Buying and Selling Homes in the Willmar area, Debbie Caylor.
Hey, it's Debbie Caylor, and I am sitting in my studio in downtown New London and excited to talk to Dave Baker today. And if you've lived in the area for a while, I'm sure you've heard of him. Dave has owned some restaurants, hotels, Green Lake Cruises, which I have to mention here because this morning I found this little printout from Indian Beach Resort that was printed in 1950. And it shows you how long people have been enjoying activities on Green Lake. And I looked through it, and now we have Green Lake Cruises, which is a beautiful boat that you do lots of parties on and such. But back in 1950, it's just showing people in rowboats, and I can't imagine you doing tours with people in rowboats. So things have changed, and people still love Green Lake. But on to talking to you. For those that don't know you, who is Dave Baker?
Oh, Debbie, thanks for having me today. Dave Baker is a guy who brought his family here in 1994. So my wife Mary and I have been in the area for 20 years. Our three children were brought here when they were small, and they went through the Willmar school system. We still live in Willmar. I came down to work with Torgerson Properties back in that time frame, and I was with Torgerson for about 6 years. And then we started our very first company, Baker Hospitalities, when we bought the Northern Inn Hotel and Suites in Spicer. And I was never more scared in my life to cash in all my savings and my 401ks, and we did the big plunge, and I was working for a very good company, successful company, and I just knew that I wanted to do something on my own. And I went from running multiple hotels and restaurants to owning a little tiny 33-unit property in Spicer, Minnesota, and I've never been more scared in my life, but also know today I've never been more glad about the decision that we did to take that step together. So it just opened up a lot of new doors. It gave me the flexibility to just go on and do a lot of different things. So, been here for a long time and looking forward to doing a lot more things.
So Melvin's, which we all loved and missed terribly, nothing against Zorba's, but you guys had such a good thing going there.
And that was, we owned Melvin's for 10 years, and that was probably, without a doubt, our most energetic, a lot of synergy was at Melvin's. We had great employees. We have had many good summers. We had some tough winters. It was tough times for a while. And I'll tell you, you had mentioned the Green Lake Cruises earlier. The Green Lake Cruises, in my opinion, really helped solidify and turn around Melvin's to be a solid restaurant that could make it year in and year out. And I think Zorba's has done a lot of good things to the facility. They've really made sure that building is going to be here for a long time, and I'm glad that we're able to work together with Zorba's now too. But with Melvin's on the lake, I was so proud when we decided to sell. We were very proud of what we had done there. We had good food, good service, lots of fun, great concerts in the summer on the deck, and I know that I've learned so much from working in an environment like that. And now today, when we have the Oaks at Eagle Creek, we have the Willmar Super 8, Green Lake Cruises. I'm very busy with multiple projects like that going on, but man, did I learn a lot with the ups and downs with a business so dynamic like Melvin's.
Well, with the Oaks, I noticed you've totally renovated the entire restaurant, and it looks beautiful, and the food is amazing. So for anybody that hasn't eaten there yet, you have to go.
Thank you.
You have to go try.
I'm really proud of what we did this last January. We shut down for 8 days, completely gutted the bar lounge area, right down to the concrete. And people, when they come in, they just say, "Oh my gosh, it feels like I'm in a warm metro bar, a grill, restaurant," and I'm very comfortable. It's very inviting to anybody, and so we're very proud of it, and the great staff we have to work there too.
And not to mention the fantastic views you get when
Yeah,
you eat there,
it's
looking over
wonderful.
the lake or the golf course. The
Yeah.
atmosphere
It's a lot of fun.
absolutely amazing. You do a lot of volunteer things in the area and contribute. You're so active in the community. I don't know when you sleep.
I get my sleep, and again, I find that when I was able to make that step into being my own business owner, my own entrepreneur that I've been dreaming about for many years, it gave me that flexibility to sneak out sometimes from my business and let employees do the work, and then I could go work on the Spicer Ice Castle when we got that going again, and when we had a chance to build the Wildcat Playground in downtown Spicer. I think that week that I spent there, I was one of the chair people for one of the committees, and literally many of us lived there for about a week. But I don't think I still feel today so proud of such a great project and having so many generations of kids that are going to be able to see this amazing playground in downtown Spicer. I'm so proud of that. And again, I think it's just sort of really an enjoyment I have when I see a successful event go off. If it's raising money for iPads in Willmar, if it's helping with educational things that I like doing, or sporting events, and running a golf tournament. It's all because our community is only benefiting from that. And people, when you embrace a community like we've been embraced with this community, I just feel this desire and want to return some of that to the community. Our life here in Willmar has been full of ups and downs. We have made tremendous friends. Our businesses today have been successful, and I'm grateful for that. We've had a real tragedy when we lost our oldest son, Dan, and when we saw the community pulling us through this horrible nightmare that we experienced, our family, we also all have come out of this saying, what a great community. We could not have been more lucky to be in this Kandiyohi County area, because they were so generous, they were so loving, so supportive. Our faith is what carried us through such dark times, and yet we can't imagine being anywhere else. And so it's part of what we want to do to give back to the community. And that's what I've been feeling this whole time. And now on my new journey, I think that's also part of my excitement of trying to do more and other things. And so that's what's creating that excitement, and it's fun doing that again, along with running my business. It's been a good fit.
But you took that tragedy and made something positive out of it, because did you start a support group to help other families?
We did. We started the Dan Baker Foundation in honor of our late son, and who died of an accidental overdose, and he got addicted to prescription pain medication. He was having some back issues in his third year of college, and just was not able to get the pain under control, and did not know the strength of these pills, and eventually 2.5 years later we had lost him suddenly. And so it was a terrible ride for us, and we've learned lots. But with that, and I think part of our healing is to help others and support and donate money to causes that we believe in. There's some really good projects out there that are helping people with addiction. And addiction is something that should not be put under the rug. Everybody knows somebody who has an addictive personality, is struggling with alcoholism, is struggling with pain pills or heroin or whatever it might be. It's addiction, and it's part of a mental illness that we have to address and hit head on, but we can't hide it, and we have to talk about it, and it is something that people should not feel shame. If you know somebody, don't feel like you can't talk to them about it, and if you feel like you are an addict, do not feel ashamed. This is a disease, no different than diabetes or cancer, but we have to find the right way to deal with it and treat it, and it takes support to do that. It's very difficult to do on your own, and we've learned that firsthand, and we want to make sure that we help as many people as we can, and families that don't have to go through what we have gone through, just because the information wasn't as readily available for us at the time. So it's part of our healing, I guess, Debbie, and that's why this is such a important part of my wife Mary and my life today, is helping others.
Well, I know it's very difficult, and I appreciate your openness about it, because it's hard to talk about, and it's hard for people to admit something like that, but seeing how open you are, just that alone is going to help a lot of people. So I want to thank you for that and let you know that our hearts are out there for you. And
thank you.
And our prayers.
Thank you.
What is your favorite part about living in West Central Minnesota?
That's a great question. I think what I have really enjoyed are, again, I think it has to come down to the beautiful surroundings that we have around here. The lakes are clean and well taken care of. The rolling hills and the trees in the northern part of the county, and then even traveling in the south part of the county, all the beautiful farms and the fields and the agriculture that we have. I think this county is, when they say it's where the lakes begin, it's where everything kind of comes together, so we get a piece of it all. Not to mention, throw on top of what I think is even the better part of it is the people that I've met over the 20 years. Again, they've been great business colleagues that I've known, folks at our church. They've been customers and employees. I think, we've had hundreds of employees throughout our years of being our own business owner 14 years ago that have come and gone through our employment process. We've left so many of them with such good memories and respect. I think we are grateful for this area of having good, honest, hardworking people, and that has helped us feel right at home here.
So that answers part of the next one, about what do you enjoy most about being a small business owner?
I think it's about being in control of my own destiny. I can work as hard as I want. I can choose to be there every day, and I wouldn't need my managers if I wanted to be there every day, and I could just make more money, and I wanted to work more and make more profit. But I think what I like about it is that I also like the choice that I can go out and help raise money for projects like iPads or build a playground. I think that's what the choice is that I have as a business owner. I don't have a boss to report to. And so that's what I kind of like about having the ability to be my own boss, is that I choose to spread my time out evenly with the business and with my community and with our family, so I can make those decisions on my own.
Which I agree with, because I run my own business too, but people misunderstand a lot of things about business owners. What do you think is the most misunderstood thing?
Sometimes I think people think if you're in business or you are someone that has your own thing, that you're all of a sudden kind of wealthy, or you have it all going for you. Mm-hmm. We are the last ones to be paid. We have to pay the electric bill. We have to pay our employees. We have to pay the taxes, really, before we can take our little payroll checks to the bank. And we're usually the last ones that are paid. So that is a thing that a lot of new entrepreneurs and business owners don't understand right away. And they have to sort of know that process. That can sometimes be the most challenging part, is just not having the money in the bank like some people think you always do because you own your own business. It isn't quite that simple.
Which would be one of the reasons that you were 20 minutes late today, because you're an entrepreneur and you were doing what?
Well, with the heavy rains this morning, what happened was we had sort of some water coming in the doors at the Super 8 in Willmar, and I was busy shampooing for the last 3-4 hours, just making sure that our rooms were dry, that our hallways, weren't damaged at all. So we contained it very well. We got the fans going. Staff helped me a lot. But those are the things that happen when you're a small business. They call you first, and that's what we have to do. So, it's all about. I'm a small business owner that gets my hands dirty. I fix toilets. I repair vacuums. I serve food to my customers, and I love doing that. And I think that as an owner makes me very satisfied, knowing that I'm giving my employees and my businesses the tools to make everything happen for them as well and keep things rolling. But that's what I do. I'm a real hands-on kind of business owner.
Which is the way to do it. When you look back on the businesses that you've had, what's been your biggest challenge?
Wow, I think my biggest challenge is to always, when you have a plan, let's use Melvin's for an example. I had a vision of having this great restaurant, busy. We're making good investments into our business with new equipment and new menus every 6 months, and just having a very robust restaurant. But I think the biggest challenge is continuing with that vision and that passion. Sometimes people lose that passion after a while. You sort of get bored. And I think sometimes the passion is making sure that you never lose focus of what you're there for. I love seeing my employees every day, and I greet them with a hello and a goodbye when I see them, when I'm coming or going, because I know that I can't do anything without having folks that come to work on time and they're working as we've always trained them to do. So sometimes it's just keeping that passion. It's making sure that my employees are just as happy as I am with them being there, and I want to make sure that we always have the best employees we can. So, those are always challenging things when you don't know from year to year what kind of crop you're going to get in of employees, if you will, to see what kind of staff we're going to have.
Now, there are bosses and there are leaders, and from what you say, you're definitely a leader, which brings us into the next topic, that you're entering the crazy world of politics. Do you want to touch on that?
Well, I will, and thanks. I decided I've never been in politics before. I've always sort of sat on the sidelines and watched from a distance. I've been very active in statewide associations. I was the incoming chairman for the Minnesota Chamber of Commerce. I was on the Minnesota Restaurant Board of Directors. And most recently, I just decided I am very concerned about how things are going in the legislature. And I thought, what better way to make a difference is not to, kind of yell and scream from the sidelines, but to actually take the big step and try to make the run. So I decided, and with my family's support and endorsement, we decided to run for office, and I'm very proud that I was endorsed by the local Republicans, and I'm knocking on doors every day right now, and we're seeing over 10,000 homes already. We've got about 3,000 or 4,000 more to do. And that has been a real new journey for me. It's there's a lot of campaign signs out. We've been working hard to raise the money to do a good campaign. And again, part of the support that I'm feeling right now is because of the 20 years I've been in town. It's the people that have still then known who I am and know what we do for a living, and they feel like I think that I'm a person who has been a man of my word and a man of my integrity, that I always do what I tell you I'm going to do. So that, I think, has resonated a lot with my journey and my desire to want to do more for our area, and that's to try to represent us in St. Paul if I'm so fortunate to be elected this November.
So what is your vision for Minnesota?
My vision for Minnesota is to have Minnesota prosper and grow and be economically very strong through private sector jobs, through encouraging jobs to expand, and to encourage employers like me to hire more people and create better jobs with better wages. I'm concerned that the government thinks today a good economy is when you raise taxes. I think if you keep raising taxes, you're going to push away some people that don't need to be here. You're going to push away some of our most successful business entrepreneurs, and they don't have to live here anymore, and many of our friends are choosing to move away. My concern about that is that in 5 or 10 years, when they're still expanding and growing their businesses, they're not doing them any longer in Minnesota. And it's a very slow ship that turns with the economy. When you make major changes like it's been done in the last couple of years, economies will adjust themselves to make sure that businesses will always stay as healthy as they possibly can. But if we don't pay attention to those indicators and what is still competitive around with Minnesota, what's around Minnesota is South Dakota, North Dakota, Wisconsin, and Iowa, who are plucking away folks with more jobs. And my fear is in 5 or 10 years, we're not going to have the same job growth and the same low unemployment rate that we're enjoying now, because we're going to have a void there because of the tax policies. So we've got to look at that. We also I envision a great education system with good funding through private sector jobs, because as more people are working and off the welfare system, or at least we're helping the ones that to get off the welfare to get them a good job so they can afford to pay taxes and again help support the schools. And it's just sort of this economics 101, where you have to start with a good private job, because that's what makes good government jobs. It's what makes our roads better. But we have nothing if we don't start with a good private sector economy, and Minnesota has to be a business-friendly state. And right now, I challenge to say that that's not where we're at. And I'm concerned about that. That's probably one of the biggest reasons I've decided to run for office.
And if you could make one change overnight to our state, what would it be?
Well, I would have maybe a little more mild winters, but I think that might be a little bit of a push. I would just say if I could make, one change, and I kind of said it earlier, it's just that we need to encourage more small business owners like me, and even the large businesses. Keep growing here in Minnesota. Keep expanding. We want to put on new warehouses and new expansions to plants and new little businesses like a 1 and 2 person shop that wants to open up a motorcycle repair service, or a new restaurant in downtown New London. That is really good stuff that happens in our area, and that's what people have to feel like they have a chance of making it when they want to do what I did. And that's cash it all in. Put on the 401ks on the table and all your savings and do what I did. And 14 years later, I'm not rich, but I'm sure living a life that I love living. And I think that if people feel that good about what they're doing, Minnesota has to do a better job with tax policy to let people like me continue to grow like they are growing. And I think that's what's so key. So that's what I would probably change, is to make us a more positive state when it comes to private sector and entrepreneurs wanting to do business here.
Which we see with downtown New London, as it's...
What a cool downtown. I mean, the investments that small business owners are making, like yourself, like the folks in some of the retail businesses here, it's just, New London is what people talk about around the county, how vibrant they are. And it's because you've got a very great nucleus of owners here that are supportive of each other. They're very connected with a joint marketing plan, and I've loved watching New London kind of just evolve these last 5 and 10 years into a beautiful downtown retail arts community that everybody is so proud of. Everybody comes here when they've got friends coming from out of town, and it's a perfect little community. So I give hats off to so many folks here in New London.
It's been great. It's been fun, and it's the best move I ever made, actually.
I can see that. Yeah.
Come to
and it's a great little town, and it's a part of a great county. Kandiyohi County is a great area. As I'm out knocking on doors in northern Kandiyohi County especially, I see these rolling hills and the trees and the beautiful homes around the corners that I never knew were here. And so it's just we've got a beautiful area and supported by a lot of great people.
So before I let you go, one last piece of advice to someone who would be thinking about starting a business in this area. What piece of advice would you
have a vision about what you want. Know that it's going to be a lot of hours. It's going to be a lot of work. You have to really focus on paying the dues to be able to get through to maybe when you can hire your first or second or third employee. Know that you're going to have some tough times. Know that you're going to have maybe some resources to say, in case I fall short, what's my backup plan? Folks can have the greatest business plan, but if they run out of cash before they get to the end zone to start producing a product, they don't have a good plan. So just make sure that you've got to be able to put in the work and the effort, and don't count your hours. You once you buy your own business doesn't mean you get to kind of take it easy straight. It's the complete opposite. So just know what you're getting into, and it's going to be a lot of work. But when you get there, and you can say after 1 or 2 or 3 years, you've got to a point now where you can relax, it's the greatest feeling in the world.
Yeah, when people think that being self-employed means you put in 40 hours a week, that's half a week, actually,
Mm-hmm.
because it's closer to 80, and they don't understand that, and they don't see it, but
Right.
the key is never let them see you sweat, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I always say, I'm only working half days, but that's 12 hours in a day, so
Right,
that works pretty well.
Exactly.
No, but for me, it was the best decision. One of the best decisions I ever made was to say, I want to do this, and my family, we all went in, and it was a great thing to do. And we still risk everything every day when we go to work. I never am comfortable. If some things go bad, and back when the recession was happening a couple of years ago, things were really rough. I felt like we were going to lose some things, and that was really scary. I became a better business owner after going through some really, really tough times, and that's when I've learned the most. So.
Wonderful. Well, for anybody out there that didn't know you before, now y'all know Dave Baker, and go to the Oaks, introduce yourself to him. The food is fantastic, the atmosphere is fantastic, and you know what? Vote for him too.
Well, thank you very much, Debbie. It's been great to see you today.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.